Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and I'm coming at you with the book recommendations tag. This one was created by Zariah Rose, and it's set up in such a way that it's short, it's sweet, and you could do it many times in your life. I'll of course link the original down below, and I'll put the questions in the description because I'm not a monster. The first prompt is to recommend the best book you read last month, and give me 1 second. Whew. Okay, that was an adventure. My mom actually saw that I loved this book so much and saw that I said I wouldn't mind having my own copy of it, so she got me one for Christmas, and that's In Other Lands by Sarah Rees Brennan. This book. So this is set in a magical military school in kind of a Fey Otherland, but that Fey Otherland is in England, if that makes any sense. Basically, you need to have magic to be able to get into it. This 11-year-old gets into it, so now he's part of this school. And there's two factions. You can either study to be a warrior, or you can study kind of the strategy aspect of it. And he's a pacifist, so strategy all the way. This plays with gender roles. The main character is bisexual. He's also sarcastic AF, and this book is so funny and so self-aware of the whole magic school type of location, and I absolutely adored it. In fact, this is on the top of my list for something to reread this year. You would think I would have looked at these questions and thought ahead as to what my answer would be, but definitely didn't do that for the second question, so... oh, I have an idea. Again, be right back. Okay, the second one is recommend an old favorite, and I'm going to recommend The Gunslinger. Now, most people know Stephen King because he is known for writing horror. This is not horror, this is fantasy. And it also feels like it's maybe one of the shortest books that King has ever written. And that's because this was originally written for publication in a magazine, and then people just really liked this storyline, and then he kept writing it, and now there are 8 books in the series. There was originally 7, and then there was this part where it said that there were 2 stories he hadn't told, and one of those stories has come out as like a 4.5 book, and I feel like there's probably another one gonna be in there somewhere. Although you would never be able to tell based on that terrible Dark Tower movie they made that I just have to pretend doesn't exist because it makes me super angry. This book is about Roland, who is a gunslinger, not about Jake. Jake is not the main character in this series. Anyway, Roland is on an epic quest to a place called the Dark Tower. That is the broadest synopsis I can give you for the entire series as a whole, and along the line he meets up with these other characters that become part of his posse, basically. I've actually only read the series once. I feel like I should reread it, but it is a big series. So I've been intimidated to go through it again. Also, while I was reading this first volume, you could definitely tell that it was earlier in his career, just some of the writing was a little bit clunkier than I knew of King's work at the time from when I was reading this. But it's not bad. It's very imaginative. Obviously there's going to be some gross horror type of elements within the series because he does that very well, so why wouldn't you throw it into your fantasy series? But this is way better than that movie that doesn't exist. And I'm so sad because Idris Elba was such good casting. Whatever, it's so good. Read it. 3 is to recommend a non-fiction, and for this the one that I love the absolute most at this point is American Kingpin by Nick Bolton. This is written as narrative non-fiction, so it's written like a story, but everything in it is based on research about these actual events. So it's kind of along the same lines as In True Blood by Truman Capote, which also I recommend. But this one follows a guy who watched Breaking Bad and thought, I bet I could make a website where I could sell drugs online. And he did. And the 4th and final prompt is to recommend a book that will help people escape, and for this one my most recent has to be The Cottingley Secret by Hazel Gaynor. This one is written in a dual perspective between a woman in modern-day Ireland and then this manuscript of what happened during the First World War in Cottingley, Yorkshire. I had actually heard of this before. What happened is these 2 girls took these pictures of fairies and it became very famous. So this one is historical fiction mixed with the modern day dilemmas that character is facing, all wrapped up in a love for books, and it was truly wonderful. I loved escaping into this book every time I started listening to it again. And there we have it, short and sweet. If you've done this tag but it's been a while, or you've never done this tag, now you're tagged to do it again or do it for the first time. Cause y'all know I love a blanket tag. It's just something about being cozy and wordplay. Have you read any of these books? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!